spent a lot of time covering the American surveillance state, and he joins us tonight. Glenn, thanks for coming on.
Great to be with you, Tucker.
So I should, in the interest of honesty, note the obvious irony, which is the Republican Congress just reauthorized the law that made this possible in the first place and did so with very little public debate on the subject. And so that raises kind of a more basic question, which is, why is this question, when and how and for what reason the U.S. government spies on its own people, why is that so rarely debated in public?
It's a great question. I mean, it's the reason why Edward Snowden decided to risk going to prison, because he was so concerned that this huge, massive surveillance state was being constructed in secret, directed not just at foreign adversaries, but inward, domestically at the American people, without anybody knowing about it. And so he came forward because he was so concerned that Congress and the Senate never debated it, never discussed what the parameters are. And the irony is that we've had Democrats on the one hand spending the last year warning that Trump is this lawless tyrant endangering democracy. We've had the Republicans saying the deep state is endangering democracy by abusing its power, and yet Democrats, the leadership anyway, not the majority, got together with the Republican majority, including Devin Nunes, who authored the memo today, and just not more than 2 weeks ago voted to increase spying power and block all safeguards on how it's used. So it's really incredible now to watch this debate unfold.
Well, it's actually almost nauseating and as I said, totally ironic. So you know a lot about how this works, what is legal and what is not legal. What does the U.S. government need to show to a judge or a series of judges in order to get permission to legally spy on a U.S. citizen?
So in order to target a U.S. citizen the way that they targeted Carter Page, which means essentially that they're going to listen to all of his phone calls, read his emails, monitor him digitally, they need to demonstrate to a FISA court, which is a court that meets in secret with just the Justice Department present, that there's probable cause to believe that he's an agent of either a foreign government or a terrorist organization. So they convinced a judge, obviously, a FISA court judge, that there's probable cause to believe that Carter Page is an agent of the Russian government.
How often are those requests turned down? Do we know?
Almost never. There's something like a 99.8% approval rate. The FISA court is a joke in terms of whether or not it provides real safeguards or oversight for how the NSA and the FBI can spy on American citizens. They basically rubber stamp whatever it is that's put in front of them. And so Democrats used to say that a lot. When George Bush and Dick Cheney got caught spying on Americans without going to the FISA court, the argument of the Bush administration was it's so burdensome, and Democrats said, well, it's so easy. They never turn you down. And now Democrats are trying to say, oh, it's a very rigorous process. It's not. They almost never, ever say no.
Yeah. Glen Greewald, who's been a brave voice from the left on this subject for many years. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Tucker.
So what exactly in this memo was so dangerous that you weren't supposed to see it? It would endanger this country for you to read it. We'll ask someone who's been making that case next.